All right, Karthik, we're on.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Hey, Iyo, how are you?
Doing great. Uh, it's gonna be a holiday week, so let's see what we want to do this week on the economic calendar. I'm
Yeah,
thinking we do a quick, productive Sunday session, perhaps target 30 minutes, but if we finish about 35, 40, that's fine.
okay.
Uh, but here's what I'm thinking in terms of agenda. We hit crypto. Always like the 8 p.m. kickoff the crypto.
Yeah,
I think Bitcoin is pulling back. Everything is pulling back, so we may get in the next hour or so, may get the direction a little bit, and then we dive into the weekly economic calendar, see what we're expecting this week. Perhaps look at money calendar as well, um, and then go from there. What do you think, my friend?
yeah, no, that sounds like a good plan. Short and sweet.
All right, let me share my screen. Um, I'll start with Bitcoin. Let me see. So I was looking at the monthly chart of Bitcoin. Um, when you kind of look at with the high kinetic candles, you kind of see we're in this nice bullish trend. Like nothing really changed in terms of end of year potential for Bitcoin. We'll see how the 64,800 level. We need to get there and we kind of break it through with volume. That's on the monthly chart, we're still looking good. I think when you kind of go to weekly chart, you see that monthly move is not going to happen without a nice pullback to. Uh, I wouldn't be surprised. Let's put it this way: um, if we revisit kind of like the 53k, 51 to 53k level, like that would only make sense. We do this kind of back and down. It's really, I was kind of happy with this rejection here. It came down below 56k, and then we kind of went back up, but then we kind of revisited. So I think still the nice support level is 55, 56k. So we'll have to see if we hold that tonight. The direction tonight is right now a move to the downside started. It's taking everything down with itself. I think what I'm thinking is we'll have a healthy pullback from the perspective of Bitcoin, but I don't think Bitcoin dominance will increase against the altcoins. I think altcoins will stay relatively stable. That's my view. I think this year we get kind of like the Bitcoin pullback and consolidate in this, 52k to 55k level. Give altcoins an opportunity to catch up and actually start the altcoin bull run. So I still look at it as potentially an alt season. The next, the second leg of the alt season will kick off. I think somewhere this week or towards the end of this week into the weekend. So I'm excited about that. Again, after this pullback, I do think we kind of do this, and I think we go and hit the 87k. That's been my target for a long time by the end of the year. So would we get some consolidation in here and then this kind of gets pushed into Q1 of next year? Yeah, that's possible. But I'm still, unless we break this line, the median, and actually roll over, I still think that we are at the right level. I'd like a quick bounce from this 55k. Really, that's what I would prefer. So we don't go below this low of 55 here. Let me tell you guys about Ethereum. Ethereum will probably lead the market on the everything coming down. Oops. I don't know why it doesn't automatically adjust this. Yeah, it doesn't. Unless there's some sort of indicator here that's messing this up. All right, so if you guys take a look, Ethereum was following this trend line. It's about to break this down. I think once we do that, we go revisit below 4,000 level. So I would be surprised if we do that and then bounce back from here. So similar to Bitcoin chart, would go down. It could be as low as, this 618 Fibonacci level, which is pretty low down there, 30, maybe 33.51. So we'll see how, I don't expect it to go down that well. I think we'll bounce back because this moving average will come up here and this will come down. So it'll meet up somewhere around here, 3,800. I think that's the pullback, something similar to this. So we're getting smaller and smaller, consolidating, it's coiling up. So, and again, the probably 5,100 to 6,000 level zone here is a target for Ethereum by year end. And you'll see if I get a longer period of bullishness versus just end of year. Again, we're like right at the support. If it bounces from here, it's really nice. The daily chart. In fact, actually this trend line is no longer valid probably. Yeah. It hits most of these, okay. Yeah, now. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if we do a W here. Go down to, maybe 4,000 level, do a W, break out to the upside. We'll see how that's going to go. I mean, the squeezes are not looking good. Squeezes looking like they're going to fire to the downside. So, so my advice is be prepared for another pullback in the next couple of days. But I look at that as a buy the dip. So make sure you load up alts. And you could add, Bitcoin and Ethereum as well. But, some of the other alts would probably be better positioned for a big jump back. So I think we'll get some good, nice buying opportunities with this pullback here. Obviously, if we break down like below these levels here, and this is like going all the way down to here, this support level we have, that's going to be nasty if that happens. But if we kind of follow this trend line, I think we're good. That's true for Ethereum and Bitcoin. Let me see. I'll share it with you guys. Let's very quickly spend a couple of minutes on that. Just coins in general. Kind of look at several others. Where's my coin window? Yeah, let's use this. Yeah, I think Solana is at a great buy price. Polkadot is as well. If you were in Avalanche AVAX with me from several months ago, you can actually take some profits in this. This could continue to run to like 300s, but it's so overextended, it will probably pull back before it goes up. Luna looks really attractive. Anything under $40, if this thing comes down, make sure you have exposure to it. My long-term favorites, Algorand and Polygon, they're at great buy prices. VeChain the same way. Phantom, oh my God. So if this thing dips under $2, definitely consider. Phantom is, if you ask me, Phantom ecosystem is very, very powerful and low fees, good adoption, great use cases. I expect a Solana type run in Phantom soon. So this has a lot of upside, I think. Let's see. On the gaming coins, the engine coin looks really good. Obviously this ran up a lot, so as you guys can see that. So still, I think there's a lot of run. This is for the long term, a lot of runway for engine coin because of the metaverses and gaming coins in general. All right, so I'll leave it at that. That's kind of like a crypto covered. Wait for the dips to kind of result in a settling. Make sure you maintain some cash on the side so you buy these dips. I think we have a little bit more laid down before we, I think, pounce to the upside. With that, Karthik, I think I'll turn it over to you for like this week's economic calendar and what you're seeing for the indices.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks. Your good update as usual on cryptos. Let me share my screen here, guys. Here. All right, if you guys can see my screen, okay. Here's the weekly game plan. As you all know, for the Thanksgiving week, it's going to be a short week with the markets closed on Thursday, and then I think half a day on Friday as well. So they close at 1 p.m. Eastern on Friday. Nothing much going on tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday. I think on Wednesday there are a few things to kind of look for in terms of the economic events. Preliminary GDP at 8:30 a.m. There's some durable goods numbers coming out, and obviously the unemployment claims going to come out on Wednesday instead of Thursday this week. 10 a.m. you have some new home sales and some PCE numbers. I think on Wednesday 2 p.m. I'm not sure how many people will be trading this going into the long holiday weekend. There's FOMC meeting minutes getting released at 2 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. So I mean, pretty light week. I guess in terms of what you want to do is to see what stocks are moving during the day, and then jump on board on those kind of things. Considering the liquidity in the market's going to be pretty light, and everybody is going to be on trading from home or on vacation or whatever. But these are the economic and other events that I'm closely watching. As usual, I think I do want to kind of point this out. One standard deviation move. If you go back and look at NQ last week, which was pretty close from a standard deviation move, and this week on NQ, we are expecting around 400 points in NQ, and ES around 116 points. Not sure if we hit any of these levels, but put these on your charts and track them and play them accordingly. So that's the one standard deviation move in indices. Before I go to the sentiment, I do want to quickly look at few charts. I know we want to keep this to like 35 minutes or so. Let's look at NQ, guys. As usual, I want to look at one other chart with you guys this week as well. I look at NQ. I mean, we don't see any pullback. Do we get some cooling off sometime to get loaded here around 16,000 level? That's like 600 point drop. it's more than one standard deviation move for the week. But I'm not entertaining anything to the long side from a swing standpoint going into next week. But I would be trading intraday to the long side as it's above the VWAP lines in here. And then obviously you see the structure of the market, it's double green. So any pullbacks here is a good buy. With that said, I do want to bring a couple of things to your attention is this YM, which is, you look at the structure of the market here, right? Double green, propulsion dots in here, and it's pulling back right into the wave, right? You probably want to get long here on the YM going into year end. I'm still waiting for a little bit more pullback. You see this volume level in here around 35,450 level. My bad, 35,400 level, somewhere around here. I think the YM would be good. At least it's giving us a pullback to get long into the wave, considering the bullish structure going into year end and the seasonality standpoint as well. So YM is in good proximity to the buy zone. If you look at YM, I think you should always look at the IYT as well, which is the transportation sector, and see how that's doing. And that's pretty strong here, right? I mean, you see double green here. It's pretty strong. It's holding the 21 EMA in here around 272 level. If it gets anywhere between 270 to 267, 267 to 270 range within this wave, I would entertain IYT ETF to the long side. Obviously, you guys could go scan in the relative outperformance in IYT and pick FedEx, UPS, or whatever the other relative outperformers in that market in that ETF is, and then play the individual boat rather than the tide itself, which is the IYT. I'm keeping a close eye on IYT to get long, as well as the YM with the DIA calls or the YM futures if you're trading futures. Same thing with Russell too, guys. Going into year end, this is pretty bullish. Look at this pullback, right? I mean, we are not getting pullbacks on NQ or the ES to the zone we would like to entertain to the buy side. I think this is the structure of the market, even though it's pretty pretty early in terms of the trend and the momentum. I think the structure is set up pretty well, even though it's turned double yellow. But I think the previous trend is like double green. If you look at the structure on the bottom of my screen in here, so I think I would entertain Russell to the long side anywhere between. I think ideally would be 23.20 would be ideal, but I think we could still put on some position to get long around 23.50 level, and then you can scale in around 23.20 as well from a Russell standpoint. I mean, obviously you could play IWM calls if you're not playing the Russell from a future standpoint. That's kind of my take on some of the index futures that I'm looking at. I do want to share a few things on the sentiment going into this week. I think the big thing is, I mean, it's cooled off a little bit from a NASDAQ standpoint. It looks similar to the indexes. Nothing much to do here from a sentiment standpoint on the NASDAQ. And then if I look at the S&P, I think the same thing looks similar to the indices. Nothing much here to share on the NASDAQ and the S&P. However, guys, look at the crude, right? I mean, where did we see this? This overbought territory for last couple of weeks, and look at it right now, right? I mean, this is where you would want to entertain something to the long side from a crude standpoint. I'm looking at a few levels on crude that I'm going to share with you guys. Maybe that could be a good potential to the long side from a not from a seasonality standpoint, just from a Fibonacci numbers, and where we could get some potential support to get long. But look at the sentiment, pretty bullish. We may need to consider some trade to the long side from an USO calls, or if you're trading futures, you can trade crude oil futures, or the half of crude oil, which is the /QM, which is the half of the risk and half of the reward from a crude futures standpoint. That said, one more thing here, gold, if you're trading gold, guys, look at it, it's cooled off a little bit from an overbought position. See if we get some pullback to these zones to get long, but there's still some way to go here on the gold side. But I just wanted to share that with you guys as usual from an index and some futures commodities sentiment standpoint. Last but not the least is the T-bonds, which is the 30-year bonds. I mean, overbought levels back to the neutral territory, but there's nothing to kind of do here. I'm not doing anything on the treasury bonds, but here it is. If you want to take a look at treasury bonds and where it is. Guys, this is what I wanted to share on crude oil. There's one other chart I'm going to pull up here. If you give me 1 second, maybe we may have some potential trade ideas if you're trading crude. Give me 1 sec here. All right. So this is the Larry Williams cycle that I look at. November 29th is the turning point, the red line that you see to the upside. So that's kind of the good signal end of this month, I should say, from a crude standpoint. With that said, one of the some of the numbers that I'm watching for potential support from an harmonic standpoint is around 73 to 70, somewhere around $74. I think it came pretty close, around 74.70 overnight. I was watching it. I was still kind of waiting to see if we can get this pullback to the $74 level. That could be kind of like an ABCD move down to the 74 level is where I would get long if you're trading crude. So just wanted to share that with you guys with the sentiment, and then some harmonic confluences coming together could be a good potential for long going into year end. If you're not trading crude, I mean, look at some of the energy markets like XLE, an ETF, or the OIH is the oil producers. You can take a look at those as well. I guess that's kind of biggest thing on the indexes. I mean, there's one thing that I do want to share is some of the hedge fund positioning. I mean, as usual, I look at some of these things every week, but I do want to share this on the NASDAQ. This is nothing but your commitment of traders report that I look at from the CFTC website. Look at NASDAQ, guys. Most of the hedge funds are net longs. I mean, they're a little bit down last week, but net long 13,500 contracts. I think basically what this means is stay long. And then last but not the least, I do want to look at the crude, guys. This is kind of important. I think look at large speculators, right? I mean, they're all net long in the contract, like 447,000 contracts long. I mean, down short. I guess they're down by last week. They were down. They took the net long position down by 2,000 contracts. But generally, you stay bullish from a crude standpoint. So those are some of the things that I look at and how big guys are positioned. And then commercials and speculators are positioned, and then you could kind of play that accordingly. Last but not the least is this sector sentiment. I'm happy to take any other questions if you guys have, but here is the sector sentiment, which I think all this, I mean, we share this every week. It depends how much advantage you guys are taking. Look at financials, guys. it's pretty interesting. It's pulling back to the zone where we would entertain to the long side. It's cooled off a bit. I think some of the decisions from the president about the future Fed chair, I think some of those decisions are based. The selling off the financials probably because some of the decisions they're waiting from the president. I think keep a close eye on that and see how this reacts, and then this could be a potential long. Look at energy, right? We've been talking about how cooked it is. It was last couple of weeks, and look at this pullback, guys. It's close to the buy zone again here on energy, and same thing with the XOP, which is the oil producers. Look at this pullback. Wait for like a few more days to get some pullback in here and get long on the XLE or the XOP. One thing I think is in a good buy zone right now is the biotech. I don't trade much of biotechs. I know you do trade that, some of the biotech stocks, but that's good. That's there in a buy zone right now. XLY, guys, it's cooled off a little bit with Tesla and Amazon, I think, going up. But there's other Home Depot and other kind of consumer discretionary stocks are kind of cooling off. So this is one to watch. There's nothing that I want to say on this semiconductors or the XLK. It's all cooked right now. Not sure if we get any pullback before the year end, but it would be a gift if we get any pullback for us to get long in any of these semiconductors and the XLK. I know, I took longer than I expected.
No, it's good. It's good. I was just looking at the money calendar. Let me just share that very quickly.
Yeah.
So obviously, let me show the bigger form first. I think we read this last week. It's all green. It's the holiday week. I was just looking at the first day. What is on the list? Look what's on the 100% list is AMD. It actually looks pretty good. I think we should look at AMD. This is really November 22nd. For those of you following this money calendar, it's last 10 years of data, trading patterns. If you buy AMD on 22nd, exit on December 31st, and you'd have a max profit of $15. On average, you would make $2.50. It worked 100% of the time. I kind of like that. We should take a look at AMD. I think AMD already had a big run last week, if I remember that correctly.
Yeah, you're right.
We have. Is this the Shah? I'm not sure. Deer? Is this Deer?
Deer, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this looks good too. So AMD and DE, we should just do a quick look. Let me just quickly go through the rest of the days, and then we pick a few. I think that's how we do this week. We'll just do a quick holiday session. So, yeah, QQQ is on the list, 9 out of 10. So we should take a look. Although it's a red day, so I typically don't take if there's a recent red year. Yeah, the E is still same. Low? Is this lows?
Yeah.
It looks good. So lows, we can look. Let's see. What does 24 look like? Is there anything, any 100%? EY Lilly, LLY. Let's take a look at that as well. And the 26. trying to see if there's anything interesting. Is this into it? Yeah, this looks good too. So, Karthik, if you have AMD open, let's take a look at AMD first.
Yeah, I do have it open. Let me share my screen. Oops.
Yeah, we have screens.
Yeah, guys, AMD is, yeah, I mean, I don't have anything to say here. You guys see it's pretty bullish. You see, I mean, if you want to be aggressive, you see these red dots in here. Those are 8 EMA propulsion dots. It could be an aggro level to get long around 150. That's like $5 down here. You know, if I would, I'm hesitant to enter anything like high up in here at around 150 level. I mean,
yeah, it's already extended. Let's let's skip this one.
Yeah, so it's like
it's a high risk, low reward. So
yeah, it's like a rocket ship. So let's look at quickly D. If you want me to cover D, which is John Deere. I'm not sure. They're showing some earnings coming up on 24th November, which may not be accurate here, but let's look at D, guys. Give me 1 second here. I mean, it's been sideways forever, I think, since March. You know, look at the sideways market. You know, if you want to get long, maybe around 330, I would get long. Maybe there could be a potential support around 338, which is the 200 exponential moving average. 338, guys, that's where I would get long, which is another, what is that, like $8 down here. If you get some pullback, probably get long. Is the way I would say it, but I don't have a structure here, you know. But if this is acting as a support, I think that's where I would get long here on John Deere.
Okay, I just looked into it. It looks like it had a massive candle, daily candle that went from 635 to 700. Wow. So I probably would not do anything into it as well. Let me see lows. Okay, lows had some squeeze fired. Still green, but the momentum wave is about to turn on daily. Okay. Weekly has, it's in weekly squeeze fired for the last 4 weeks, so it's a little too late. It's gonna cool off.
Exactly.
Although I can see higher targets, like 268 is possible, but that's more like longer term.
Yeah,
based on the weekly chart.
Yeah, I agree. I think they had earnings last week, and think it gapped up. And then it's kind of consolidating right here around 250 level, by around 235 to 230 level. So 230 to 235 is my buy zone, and that's where I would entertain lows to the long side.
I was just looking at Amazon. Let me show you guys. I kind of do like the monthly chart on Amazon. Very interesting. So guys, if you look at this Amazon monthly chart is looking really bullish. I mean, it's coiling up to be it's going into basically consolidated here. We got some range movements. I think we'll stay in a range. This is a monthly chart, so this looks really, really bullish. If it continues the similar past price behavior, we are looking at a really bullish a few months on Amazon with price targets above 4,000. So So we should think about on pullbacks, especially let's look at weekly. Look at the weekly chart. This is looking really good. We are in an uptrend. So you get these like ranges. So we're probably going to get another range, right? In the next couple of weeks. On a pullback again to the trend line is a buy for, really good price points. Let me see on the daily. Yeah, look at this. It looks really, really bullish. I mean, since we came out of this symmetrical triangle, so it's the target for this is still on the way. Oops.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
That looks pretty bullish. I can make a good bullish case for Amazon as well. I want to share this yield. This is this is the Larry Williams cycle forecast that he does. Look at the turning point, right? November 23rd. See if we get any couple of days of pullback, and then maybe let's kind of buy Amazon going into year end. I guess before Thanksgiving, but going into year end, I think could be very bullish with Amazon. One other thing which is a good thing that I was looking at is Facebook, guys. Let me just scroll down here. Look at Facebook, right? November 22nd. What is it? November, tomorrow. the cycle turns tomorrow from a turning point. I think Facebook is a good long since it has. I've seen some pullbacks into it. I know you're trading Facebook pretty aggressively. I think that could support some of the from a long standpoint going into year end from a cycle standpoint as well. So those were two things that I wanted to share on Facebook and Amazon.
Yeah, I like the macro story for Facebook on metaverses, as well as just investment into future, even though I don't consider them like a true decentralized metaverse, since they're very, very centralized. They're going to be very centralized. But the fact that it's one of the technology firms that's going to play a big role in the whole VR space and metaverses in general. The fact that they're looking to get crypto wallets with Coinbase, etc. I just think that they're playing the right narrative, and not to mention the chart structure looks really good. So I do expect us to go above the previous high of like I don't know what it is, 380. So we have some ways to go. I actually traded this in and out. I still have long positions on Facebook with December expirations. So, but I scaled out big time. I took a lot of profits on, not a lot, but I took profits scaling out on Facebook. But I still keep good, perhaps 1/4 of the original position going into December. So.
Yeah. I mean, 355, I think, is a key area to watch for on Facebook right here, which is the 61% retracement from this high to this low. If it takes off this 355 zone, guys, I think look for the what level were you looking for? 380 level? Is that what you said?
Yeah, 380. I think we would break out.
Yeah. So would be a good level to watch from a Fibonacci standpoint as well, and see we get some good upside for Facebook even from a longer term perspective as well. So,
but I think we will have. I'm just looking at the pricing pattern. I think we'll have the typical kind of range movement happening before it breaks up. I think we'll just maintain the trend line on the daily chart, kind of similar to what it behaved like previously. Like if I can show you guys. So like you see guys what happened here. I don't know if you can see my mouse. This range movement on a trend line. I think same thing will happen here all the way up to 380. and then we'll know at 380 if we break that out and continue back upturn, or this becomes a giant M pattern that takes Facebook down. We'll see. But I think at the very least we're getting up to 380, kind of doing this pattern around the trend line, kind of going to 1 or 2 ATR, coming back down to mean, 1 or 2 ATR, coming back down to mean. So always kind of look for your buys, not up, on these after these moves, but just always look for like the 2 to 3 bar reversals to the mean. That's where you get it. 2 to 3 bars reversals to the mean. Same thing here. It's pretty good. I mean, you could occasionally have something goes to -1 ATR, but you're probably in a good place at the mean to get into long positions. I like the narrative, like I said, overall long.
Perfect. Yeah.
I don't know, Karthik. So my plan this week is, again, I'm not doing big long-term swing trades. I'm going to trade the indices just in and out where I have the opportunity. I might go in and out a stock, but just really very, very short term. I'm looking for basically quick trades in and out, not necessarily loading up on anything.
Yeah, agreed.
I think the macro trends around electric cars is interesting to me. I'm paying close attention to crypto these days more than anything else because I do expect these 2 months to be gigantic for crypto. I don't necessarily like that. I would prefer its slow, solid growth as opposed to big movements either direction because it just makes it less stable to the uptrend. But if you get a giant move to the end of year and it becomes like the previous bull cycles, then I would think about taking profits, putting cash aside a year. If it happens, consolidating slowly, you establish the right base, and then it keeps moving up, and then we kind of have the bull cycle going into maybe like end of March. That I would like a lot better, but that hasn't happened historically. The only reason we would think that it might happen this time around is because of the institutional adoption and buy-in, and may create a more solid base at certain levels, like 55K, or the levels around 40K, etc. So you have those buying patterns and stops that exist. So I am actually staying close to crypto more than stocks. So these days, trading less quick stocks versus more, making sure I'm in good projects in crypto, make sure I'm in projects that have, staking and interest rates, and just making sure I'm building up my good projects and coins on those, and just scaling out if something pumps up, too much, like Avalanche, projects like that. Anyhow, so that's kind of what I'm doing. I don't know if any final words on you, Karthik, in terms of what you're doing this week.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's a good overview of what your plan for the week is. I think my game plan, as it's laid out, I'm going to stick to my day trading stuff and try to play as nimble as possible with some of my setups. I mean, there could be some volatility kind of up and down with low liquidity this week with all the big boys probably on vacation. I think I would just stay nimble and see if you guys any actionable stocks in terms of if any stocks that are moving significantly up or down, and you guys probably want to play that, or if you want to catch those moves, would be kind of ideal. With some of the call option flows that I watch, I do keep an eye on some of those stocks, individual stocks that can move, especially with this Thanksgiving, holiday week, shortened week. Expect some, buyout rumors or all kind of information coming out for the price and individual stocks to move. You could kind of take advantage of some of those things during this upcoming week. I think enjoy your Thanksgiving week, guys, and thanks for everything. And Io, thank you for all you do for us to keep us updated on all the stuff that you're doing from a crypto as well as from a stock market standpoint. And I guess I appreciate all the guys who joined to get some perspective on. Without you guys, we may not be able to do this stuff for you guys. Hopefully, you guys are taking a lot of things out of this sessions. Feel free to post your comments, questions, and give a thumbs up if you're watching this on YouTube, guys.
All right, thank you, guys. Have a great week.
Yeah, take care, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.